Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my genuine go-to everyday makeup routine. There are two types of people in the world, people that wear makeup every day and people that don't. I'm definitely one that does. Just because I wear makeup every day doesn't mean that it's fancy. Sometimes it's really simple and straightforward like this. So I have a bunch of drugstore and high-end products that I reach for every day. So if you are interested in seeing what those are, then please do keep on watching. So how long does this routine take? Well, I would say this routine takes me about 30 minutes, but I like the process of doing it. I want to take that time. For me, it's a little bit of self-care, a little bit of therapy. It just makes me feel good. I just enjoy it. So I have already prepped my skin, and I do have a separate video on skin prep, but I have had more requests more recently to share my morning skincare routine. If that's something that you would like to see, then do let me know and I'm happy to do a dedicated video to that. But my skin prep routine is always the same. It's always a toner, a serum, a moisturizer and an SPF. So that is what is on my face currently. And my moisturizer does act as a primer as well. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I use this every single day. I mean, I bang on about this product all the time, but it's just my go-to and I literally could not live without it. If anybody knows of a dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, can you tell me please? Because it's so expensive. As you can see, I already have my eyebrows on. It's so boring doing eyebrows on camera. I've done it a million times. And my eyebrow routine, my eyebrow products never ever change. So I always use the Glossier Brow Flick to create hair strokes because I have no eyebrows. I will alternate between the Glossier and the Maybelline. This is the Builder Brow. This is such a good drugstore option. And I always set them in place with the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel. And to fill in any sparse bits, I will use the Precisely My Brow Detailer little micro pencil. Never changes. My eyebrows are always the same every single day. Yes, a reflection of how boring I actually am. So I always start with my eyes, and the primary reason that I start with my eyes is that it just allows my skincare to work into the skin a little bit and do its job before I go in with any foundation or skin tint. So on my eyes, I always do the exact same thing. So I always take my Tower 28 Swipe Serum Concealer and I always pop some on my brow bone and in the corner of my eye. Taking my Real Techniques base shadow brush. This is just a really dense brush and I just brighten up the brow bone and in a corner before I go in with anything on my eyes. And then I go in with a really basic eyeshadow. So on a daily basis, I'm not really using eyeshadow palettes. I'm not using powder eyeshadow. I will 9 times out of 10 go in with a cream eyeshadow. So I definitely have 3 go-to eyeshadows that I kind of alternate between. So the first one is my MAC paint pot in the shade Groundwork. So that's Groundwork. It's just a really lovely matte. It's fairly neutral, I would say, but sometimes it comes out a little bit cool toned on my eyes. And my other favorite, which is from Charlotte Tilbury, this is the Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Oyster Pearl. You can see here that they are very, very similar. So the Oyster Pearl is more shimmery than the MAC. The MAC is matte. So it's just how I feel on the day as to which one I choose. And then the third one is the one that I'm going to wear today, which is by Maybelline. This is the Colour Tattoo 24 Hour and it's called On and On Bronze, and that's what we're going to wear today. All of these eyeshadows did feature in a video that I did where I shared my top 10 one and done eyeshadows, and some people who'd used this Colour Tattoo, this Maybelline, they had said that their pot had dried out. Now, I've never ever had a problem with mine doing it, but it is worth noting that some people have reported that. That's how it looks in the pot, and I've had mine for a long, long time now. I don't know how long, maybe 18 months, I don't know, maybe more. So that's just something to keep in mind. I'm literally going to apply this with my finger, even though it's a little bit difficult to apply cream shadows with your finger, especially when your nails are getting a little bit longer. But I tend to apply it with my finger and then I go in with a brush like this. This is the base shadow brush. Okay, so this one isn't the base shadow brush. I don't know what this is called. I call this the base shadow brush. This must be called, don't know. what it's called. I'll find out. So I apply it with my finger and then I literally just buff out the edges with this little eyeshadow brush. Any eyeshadow brush would do, and your fingers will do for the whole job. So just kind of swirling into it. It's getting under my nails. See, that is the thing when you've got longer nails. Just taking it all over the lid. And the great thing about using eyeshadows like this, so cream eyeshadows, is number one, you don't have to be accurate. You can be messy. Look, that is messy, but it's still fine because you have time to work and you know, it's very movable. One of the most important things for me is that I don't need to prep my eyelids. So I don't need to use an eyeshadow primer. I don't need to use anything. It can just go onto the bare lid. Creams and liquids definitely, in my opinion, well, on my eyes anyway, they work better when you apply to a bare lid. And that's the case with all of these. Yeah, that literally takes less than a minute to do an eye. So I'll just get it on the other eye. And if you're only doing it with your finger, just blend up towards the brow bone. That's all you need to do. So you're literally talking less than a minute for both eyes. And what I love about these cream eyeshadows is they do not budge all day. This is one of the most budge-proof eyeshadows. Now, what I have been doing to add onto the eyes recently, if I'm feeling like I want to. Some days I do this, some days I don't. I will go in with an eyeliner. And my favorite right now is the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal eyeliner. And I have this in the shade Cocoa. These are like butter. That's the shade Cocoa. So just a really deep brown, but it's just lovely. So the great thing about these eyeliners is they have a little smudger brush at the end, which I do use. All I do with my eyeliner is this. So I just take a bit on the outer corner and down like that, just onto the lash line. And then I smudge it out. Now, I'm not encouraging you to pull your eye, but when I'm in a rush, I tend to just pull my eye a bit and blend and blend, 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 blend. And it just gives just a tiny little amount of depth on the outer corner of the eye. That's it. I do feel like this eyeliner, going from the comments on my Victoria Beckham video, this is either a love or hate product. Some people think this is the best product ever, and some people struggle with it. Like any makeup product, works for some, doesn't work for others, but I feel like this is the most buttery, beautiful eyeliner. Yeah, I love it. So during the week, I don't curl my eyelashes. In fact, I've become really lazy at curling my eyelashes, really lazy. I saw Marlena Stell, who is a makeup giant. She's the founder of Makeup Geek, and I was watching a video of hers where she suggests brushing up your lashes before you curl them. So instead of curling my lashes, I've been just brushing up my lashes. So I'm just taking a clean spoolie. This is an Essence spoolie, and just brushing up the lashes. It does make a difference. And if you don't like curling your lashes, this is a really good alternative. So just brushing them up before I put the mascara on. That's it, 2-second job. I have been going for the same mascara every single day. I've got loads of mascaras that I love, particularly from the drugstore, but my go-to, because it's so incredibly easy and it literally takes seconds to apply, is the Essence Lash Without Limits. Love this so much. And one of the most important things for me on a daily basis, because I'm so incredibly busy, is that at the end of the day, it's going to be really easy for me to remove, and this is the easiest mascara to slide off. It's perfect. So it applies quickly, it clings onto the lashes, it will give you a really nice pretty eyelash, it sticks around all day, it gives you lift and doesn't drop, no flaking, no smudging or transferring. There's nothing I can say that's bad about this mascara. This mascara has a unique brush which is designed with tiny little hooks to catch even the shortest of lashes, and you can feel that. That's why I love this. I love to feel as though a mascara is actually doing something. I went back to read some more about this mascara. I've spoken about it a few times on the channel, and this claims to be a tubing mascara. I don't know about that. There's nothing about this mascara that feels as though it's tubing. It doesn't remove like a tubing mascara. It doesn't apply like a tubing mascara. So I don't know. But online, it definitely says that it's tubing. I don't know if they've reformulated it recently and they've made a tubing version, but this does not feel like a tubing mascara to me. There's nothing really negative that I can say about this mascara, which says a lot because I've usually got something negative to say about something. So really, really nice mascara and my absolute go-to everyday mascara. I don't really bother with anything on my lower lashes, but once I've done the top coat of my mascara, I will sometimes go in with this eyeliner and just pop a little bit on the corner of the lash line before I do my lower lashes and just smudge it out a little bit. But most of the time I don't do this bit because I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered on a daily basis for the school run. And then I'll just finish off my eyes by just popping the mascara on the lower lashes, just haphazardly. So I've been very into colour correcting this year, and my go-to is my Bobbi Brown corrector stick. But there's a corrector that I've been picking up more and more recently. I did review this in my colour corrector video, and oh my gosh, it's so good. This is the e.l.f. Putty Colour Corrector Eye Brightener. I have been preferring this to my Bobbi Brown recently. Yeah, I know. So you can't really see that. But I guess it's a peachy shade. That's the shade light medium. So look at this eye. So very dark. We've got the under eye darkness. We've got the veins. You know, all the fun stuff. And then if I just go in with this, and this is just the eye brightener, it makes such a difference before I've even gone in with concealer. See how much that's helped? And this is such a lightweight product, and I've just been really enjoying it because it's so lightweight. I don't know how it would be if people had more oily skin, because it feels very emollient and it's kind of slippy. So I think that if you had more oily skin, you might not enjoy this. It could slip and slide around the face, but I've been really enjoying it. Now during the week, I don't really wear full coverage concealers. I'm not really bothered. So I go in with my go-to. This is my Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Concealer. I have this in the shade 3N1. This is slowly running out now. The reason it's my go-to is because it's so incredibly hydrating. It just feels like skincare. And I don't have to be careful. So I have no chance of over applying this because you can apply a ton of it and it will still look fine. It never looks cakey, ever. Now, the only thing about this concealer, it's not going to give you a ton of coverage at all. It's a very, I would say, medium concealer, bordering on light, but with the colour corrector, I find it fine. And honestly, I'm not bothered about full coverage concealers most of the time. So just taking BK Beauty A506 and just tapping that in. If you want more coverage, you know, let it sit on the under eye for a little bit, and that will give you more coverage if that's what you want. But for me, during the week, I'm just looking for hydration. I'm looking for ease of use. That's what I want. And I want something that feels really nice on my under eyes that I can apply haphazardly and not worry about it getting cakey, because this has never looked cakey on me. It's never looked heavy. It just feels lovely, really lovely. The e.l.f. and the Laura Mercier together has just been a dream. I just find that I would rather have comfortable under eyes than worry about something creasing and caking as the day goes on. And this never creases or cakes on me. So just adding a little bit more. It's not for everybody, this concealer. You have to like lighter coverage. You have to like a serum-y type concealer. But I do. It just ticks those boxes and I can apply it in a rush and it won't look crazy. So I go between two foundations on a daily basis. So I either go in with this. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. I absolutely love this. And if you are looking for a dupe for the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, it's right here. I am planning on using this in a video soon. So I'm going to not use that today because I have other plans for it soon. But that is my go-to liquid foundation. If I'm looking for an easy day, I am going in with my Dior foundation stick because it blends itself. And in a morning, I need something to blend itself because I'm not even awake yet. This is the foundation stick. It's a little bit messy now, which is inevitable. It's just real life. I have this in the shade 2.5N and I really love this. It's really nice. But it's a very emollient, creamy foundation. I'm going to apply this with my BK Beauty 101 as always. The reason that I love the BK Beauty 101 brush, okay, is because it's absolutely massive and it covers such a big surface area. Look at that. Literally one blend and I'm done. And that's why I love this brush. It's fantastic. So this is definitely my go-to foundation. Yeah, on a daily basis, just for ease of use, because I don't have to faff around with it. Look at, see that, how quick that blended. The only thing about this is it's pricey, but I just find this to be worth the money because it's so easy to use. It's really flattering on my mature skin, and I think it's good for drier skin like mine. I don't know how it would fare with oily skin because it's quite an oily, waxy product. This looks lightweight and it feels lightweight and it takes seconds to blend into the skin. So my go-to bronzer is the Too Faced Sculpting Stick. It has a really long name. I will pop it on the screen. I have this in the shade Chocolate Soufflé and this is a bronzer contour. So I just pop a tiny bit in the key areas and taking my Angie Hot and Flashy A507 just takes 2 minutes to blend. Once that's done, I'm going in with a liquid blush, and there's a couple of liquid blushes that I will kind of go for on a daily basis because they blend the easiest. And one of my favorites, these are the Rare Beauty blushes. They have a really big doe foot, I guess, if you want to pop it on your cheek first, but I tend to go in on my hand. This is the shade Encourage, and I just pick it up on a brush that way. So I'm going in with my BK Beauty 112, which is just a really small face brush, and I'm just going to tap that on to my cheeks. And I know that some people have struggled with the Rare Beauty blush. I think it's because of the pigment, but I think you can avoid the trouble by making sure that you don't pop it straight on your cheek. That's when you can come into some trouble. That's when they become a little bit hard to blend. So just picking it up on a brush and then putting it on that way is what works for me. So I like the Rare Beauty because it just never ever looks patchy on my skin. And even today, you probably noticed, well, I don't know if you have, I've been using a really, really low dose of tretinoin on my skin. Literally once a week, that's all I'm using it. And my skin is peeling at the minute, so it's flaking, but only around my mouth. And even when I apply these products, it doesn't emphasize that dryness or flaking. But yeah, if you see my skin peeling off, that is why. It's not the makeup. Yes, it's the tretinoin. I don't know if I'm going to continue with that, but we'll see. So once I've done my blush, done my bronzer, I then set my under eyes. You probably think that I do my makeup in a really, really funny order, and I probably do, but it's just the order that works best for me. Just take an angled eyeshadow brush and I dip into my Huda Beauty Easy Bake. I have this in the shade Pound Cake. This is my go-to under eye powder. I love the Givenchy as well. They reformulated it and I use it very, very sparingly now because once it runs out, I'm never going to be able to get that formula again. And apparently the new formula isn't great. I have to use an under eye powder with this concealer because it's quite a luminous concealer. Can you see my under eye hollows there. So all I do is I just concentrate the powder under the eyes and it just takes away that hollow. Can you see? Really good. There we go. And that just masks those under eye hollows. So yeah, I still have a bit of darkness there, but it's just part of me. It's just a part of me now. I don't use highlighter, so we're skipping that bit. If I do wear highlighter, it is when I go out. I do wear highlighter when I go out, but I am very, very funny about highlighters because I have problematic cheeks, and when you have problematic areas on your face, highlights are going to highlight that, so I tend to avoid it. I think the dew from the blush just gives me everything that I need. On an ordinary day, I go in and I powder. This is my favorite powder. This is by Florasis. This is the Florasis tinted airbrushed powder, and I would ordinarily powder kind of my T-zone, but because my skin is flaking a bit right now, I'm going to avoid this area because this area is what is peeling. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of this powder up here because this area is behaving. So just there, and usually I would powder here and here. So depending on powder and the look that I'm going for, if I'm looking a bit shiny, I'll go in with my Florasis. If I just want a little bit of airbrushing, I've been going in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow powder filter. This is absolutely beautiful. It's a finishing powder rather than a setting powder, and it's just very blurring, very, very pretty. So I then finish off with lips. Now, on a daily basis, I will tend to go in with a lip liner and probably just a lip balm. The lip liner that I use will be no surprise. It's the Maybelline Lifter Liner, and it's in my go-to shade, which is Line Leader. I'll just show you Line Leader. So that's Line Leader, and I pretty much wear this every day. I love it. I love it. It's such a good shade. So I do tend to take that, kind of blend it into the whole lip. But I do like to have a little bit of a shiny, hydrated lip on a day-to-day basis. So I have three go-tos. So I have the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm. This is in the shade Vanilla Beige. I have the Revlon Super Lustrous Glass Shine Lip Balm, and I also have the YSL Love Shine in the shade 201. Any of these three is my go-to. So we'll go in today with just a balm. Don't have to be spending money on a Summer Fridays lip balm. There are other lip balms that are just as beautiful and comfortable, but I do like these because they're not sticky, they feel really hydrating, and you can keep applying as the day goes on, and it's still going to look good and feel good and not get crazy on the lips. You know, sometimes they can start to look a little bit gloopy. This doesn't. So that's the shade Vanilla Beige, but it just shears out. So it doesn't really matter what lip color what lip liner you have on with it. So the lip liner that I chose with this today doesn't actually match with it, but I don't think you can particularly tell. It doesn't really matter because it kind of comes out pretty sheer in the end. So lastly, I am going in with a setting spray because in the winter I need more hydration, and I'm going in with the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. Ooh. This e.l.f. spray helps to give that hydration back to my skin that I really, really miss in the winter, and it also helps to keep my makeup in place all day. Obviously, to like this setting spray, you need to like a dewy complexion. So it's not for everybody. So that is it. That is my go-to everyday makeup look. Products that I use on an everyday basis. They make my life easier and they're reliable. And that's the most important thing on a daily basis, especially at 6 a.m. in the morning. So you'll have to let me know down in the comments, what are your go-to daily products? What do you use without even giving it a second thought? They are your trusty makeup companions and they won't let you down. Let me know everything in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.